follow along for my current tricep routine. All right guys, here we are, West Main on a Sunday, and man, it's a great day to train arms. It's sunny outside, and all I wanted to do coming today was get a massive pump. So I'm gonna go through each exercise individually, talk about why I set up the way I do, sets, reps, and the scheme and thought process on blowing up my triceps and making them a strong point on the stage for me this year. All right, we start with easy bar pushdowns. Nothing feels as great as this does for me. I've just always loved it. Now notice, it isn't that short V bar, it is the more wider gripped easy bar, so it's still having me a bent wrist, but at the same time, I can really load this heavy, right? So I worked my way up to the stack and crushed 15. So I was like, you know what? Let's put the gym pin on there, put another 25 pounds on there, and just go to failure. And that's exactly what we did. So I did one top set there, even though I did get a lot of volume in, because I was doing sets of 15 to 20 all the way down the stack. So I had a good pump going into my true work sets. So don't get this wrong. I don't treat this like I would back or chest or legs. My feeder sets on arms are still full reps. 10 to 20 at all times, because I want to keep flushing blood and pumping it into my arms, especially for exercise number one. Because at the end of the day, like, I'm not trying to break PRs when I'm training arms. I want a massive pump and to protect my ligaments and joints, because I've already done tons of heavy pressing this week and tons of pulling 2 times this week for training back twice and then chest and shoulders once. So I don't want to beat the piss out of my elbows anymore. I want to come here, get a huge pump and blow my arms up. So worked up, again, one top set of failure with the whole stack plus a gym pin with a 25. Then I took about a minute rest, pulled the gym pin, dropped down to 90 pounds, and just really slowed the reps down and made sure I was just crushing the contraction and getting a good stretch. That burn is horrible. So top set, back off there. But also what I want you to pay close attention to is watch how I'm allowing my elbows to kind of ride up and then get pinned back down before I'm getting the contraction. So it's more of a rocking motion. You know, I've been listening to Big Mike and Fuad talk about like the importance of like not being perfectly strict with those push downs, and I'm telling you, I love it. So put that in your routine, try it. Play around with letting your elbows glide up a little bit and then fire back down to contraction, almost like a rocking sensation. So I credit both those guys for really reintroducing me to that idea. I'd always kind of done that for my overhead tricep extensions, but never really thought about doing it for normal standing push downs. So started doing that a few weeks ago, and I love it. All right guys, next up in rotation, a superset before I get into my mass builder. So I'm gonna do these bent over calf extensions. This is very similar. If you don't have these calf handles, literally don't panic. Just use 2 long ropes, not a big deal. I'm kind of pitching my body over, letting it kind of ride up a little bit and then driving back to a hard contraction. So this is just a different angle to train my triceps at. I'm just trying to flush a lot of blood in there. And this is the first half of the superset before I'm getting into overhead tricep extensions. So with that, stretch, let my elbows ride, then fire out. Almost think about punching out into contraction. I'm not spending a lot of time in contraction because that's what exercise number 1 is for in this rotation. This one is all about working the stretch and really crushing my long head. So this actually did 3 working rounds. And if you notice on this last working round that Chad's filmed, what we did here on the overhead extension, because I didn't get as many reps as I wanted, I only got 8. So then I took about a 15-second rest period, and then I went back out another 5 or 6, 7. I can't remember how many I ended up getting. But again, I just extended that set because I wasn't happy with only 8. I wanted more. I wanted at least 12. So that's what we did. Just simply do a little rest pause there for a singular rest pause, not doing all 3, but just a singular to pump out a few more reps before moving into the mass building exercise of the day. All right, next up, Swiss bar close grip press. Now, I say close grip, but honestly, guys, like what we want to think about here is I have this at shoulder width. If you notice on that Swiss bar, I'm grabbing the middle handles. So not the most narrow, because that's too narrow for my structure, and not the most wide, because that's what I would do if I was going to do it for a neutral grip chest press. So right in the middle for me feels great for triceps. Then the reason I hesitate to call it a press too is because I kind of view this as the mixture of a press, JM press, and a skull crusher. If you notice when he pans around to the side on me doing this exercise, I'm almost letting my wrists fold on my mouth, right? So I'm not doing it like I would do a close grip bench press where I'm bringing it down to my lower chest. I'm really trying to keep this high and do it as an extension movement. So I didn't do a lot of weight there. It was a 1.25 plate, so I'm not crazy heavy, but it's just hammering my triceps after all that push down work. I did 1 plate, 1.25 plate, and then for my set that we filmed, we did 1.25 plate to almost failure. I didn't do true failure because I would have set on my face, obviously. And then pull a quarter and go just short of failure again. That had my triceps burning like crazy and setting up for the finisher of the day. So, tricep finisher of the day. What we're looking to do here is 3 sets of 21s. If you need a full explanation of why I like doing these 21s this way, we'll tag this video here where I made it just for tricep pushdowns. But essentially I'm just doing 21 reps, 7 in the contraction position, 7 full range, 7 at the stretch position, and did 3 rounds of that, and that is absolutely it for my triceps. Honestly, you could do this before or after biceps. I wouldn't recommend doing all this after, say, chest or all this after shoulders, just too much volume, especially if you're doing a lot of pressing. But as a standalone arm day, do this first or second in rotation, depending upon where you like to put your biceps. So follow along, Triceps TV, like, share, subscribe, and I'll keep bringing you some incredible content. And I'm telling you, do this workout and your triceps will be burning.